a caravan. They got attacked by basilisks, and the basilisks came from either side and were tearing away people left and right. They managed to beat back the basilisks and kill three or four of them, and I think four. And after everything had settled down, you had heard a rustle in some bushes, and you discovered a small folk man running away, quickly muttering to himself. You came upon him and convinced him to, he reluctantly led you to his small abode where you are currently. He is currently talking to Dane, who is distracting him, as it were, talking about the chef-like qualities of the herb that he has picked, while he is trying to...
I think it was Rory's character that was doing that.
Korak, I'm sorry. Yes, it was Korak. I was thinking Tony. So yes, it was Korak. He was distracting him at the sink while he's rinsing things and trying to put things in to make some kind of healing, or he's saying that these herbs should help heal you. And we had Dane, who was fishing through some books where he came across one, and I can't remember the title exactly, but it was it said it was something about the breeding of basilisks, and then it was written by Tobias Alvalron the Magnificent. And then we had our friend Turask over in another room in the back, where he had discovered basically walls lined with glass jars filled with eyeballs. And it was at that point that you had discovered the book that you all heard and felt a boosh. And that was where we left off. So upon hearing that and feeling it, Tobias instantly stops what he's doing, and he looks up, and first of all he sees Dane with a book in his hand, and he says, "What are you doing fishing through my stuff?" And I think she's back. Hey, you guys could help me. And he'll throw the herbs and stuff down, and he'll start hobbling over to the bookshelf where Dane's at.
I'm interested in lore, and I find your books fascinating.
He'll come over to you and try to snatch that book out of your hand. And do you give any resistance to him snatching it?
Minimal resistance.
Okay, yeah, he snatches it out of your hand, and he says, "Don't take what doesn't belong to you." And he'll tuck it back in some other corner, and then he'll pull out another book, and he'll hobble over to the center of the living room, and he'll place it down on the coffee table, and he'll flip it open, and he'll start frantically going through pages, muttering to himself. At this point, what is Turask doing?
Turask is still looking through these jars back there. But he doesn't really recognize anything here. He doesn't think. So he just kind of turns around and would try to see what exactly is causing all the commotion.
You would have felt and heard the kadoosh too.
Right, and he basically would have. I think actually last time I left off saying I didn't do it. So all the jars kind of rattled around, and he was like, "Whoa, that wasn't me." And
I would look at him while he's frankly going through the book, and I would say it was not my intention to take. It was only my intention to learn.
He's not listening to you at all. He's just muttering.
I figured he would.
And Tarask, so you're still just looking in here, looking at the things?
Well, I would come back towards the commotion in the other room, and if I can, take another glance out at what somebody had said they thought was a pen.
Yes, you go, if you're going right up to the window, you don't need a perception check to see and smell that outside in this pen area. First of all, the pen is made out of this heavy metal, and it's clearly been designed to keep something inside of it that was prone to breaking out of any lesser fencing. And it's not enclosed in top, but the walls do stand about 6 to 7 to 8, at your best estimation, feet high. And it's more of an enclosure than it is a pen, now that you're getting a better look at it. And the smell coming from the window's closed, but you can still smell coming through the window just the rancid smell of rotting meat and rotting flesh. And
you said it was made of heavy metal? It's funny, when I looked at it, it looked like it was more made of grunge.
Well, it's not made of prog rock, because then it'd be all over the place. So, yes, and it's not hard to notice that the smell is emanating from a corner over there. There's this gigantic bin over there, and you can see flesh and meat and blood dripping from it, and it's clearly the source of that rancid smell.
So I would, what exactly do you keep out there?
And he actually doesn't hear you, because he is currently tuned everybody else out at the moment. As you see him flipping through pages of a book and muttering to himself. He seems to be getting close because he's getting more excited.
Can I look over his shoulder and see what the book is?
Yes, certainly. As he's flipping through, you're able to catch some images and a few words, and they mostly pertain to anthropology and the biology of lizard-type creatures. And it talks specifically about the methods of gathering resources from animals that have been killed for their resources, whether it be meat, skin, and hides, or more obscure things like eyeballs and tails and horns and so on and so forth. This appears to be some type of alchemical instructor's manual for gathering and foraging parts from creatures.
Okay.
And as you look over his shoulder and Tarask is out there, he's like, "What exactly do you keep out there?" There's another, and then basically as soon as that happens, he's like, "I found it!" And he has a picture that is crudely drawn of this large creature, and basically it looks like there was no picture to go along with it, only theoretical text descriptions of how to theoretically remove some parts from this theoretical creature. And he will say, "Yes, now if you guys, you seem pretty capable, you survived out there, if," he points to Dane and he says, "If you go on one side," and then he points to Tarask and he says, "You go on the other side," and then he looks up at you, still learning names, Tony's character, Korak, and he says, "And you stand in front of it, and you attack it all at the same time. Then we should be able to maybe hold it down or confuse it long enough." And then he starts running off into a back room down a hallway.
Attack what? I would call after him.
Moments later, you hear this, and it's followed by the thunk of his peg leg, clunk, 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 and as he rounds the corner, he's got this strange contraption that he holds it up, and it almost looks like a Ghostbusters pack, but it without the actual backpack, but just the gun and a big hopper on the side that's filled with some liquid and a string of darts on the side of it, kind of like a Rambo style ammo belt that goes across the chest, except it's linked into this weapon itself, and it appears to be some type of projectile weapons. You guys would be familiar with projectile weapons. Basic muskets and stuff like that do exist, and this looks like some kind of just ungodly contraption that is about to blow up in your face if you even touch it. And he pulls it out and he says, and then we can hit her with this. And he sets it down on the ground and he says, I can't lift it anymore, not with my leg. But you could. He points to Korak. Oh, the mother. She's coming. She's got big eyes.
I'm going to kind of make one of those faces like, what you talking about, Willis? I'm going to look at the other people in the party and just be like, what? Are we signed on for this?
I don't know if we have a choice right now. Now, does the picture have, I mean, there's obvious text with it. It's just a larger version of what we've fought so far?
No, actually, this looks quite different. So why don't you, whoever is looking at the book, I think Dane, you'd be close enough to look down at the book too. So you two could make logic tests for me, and if you have any type of, I could be convinced of a skill.
Could I use my divination for this purpose?
No. Because that would be purely magical detection around you. That had nothing to do with you recognizing a picture.
Yeah, the only thing...
because I was reading kind of what divination does. Allows discover information, view distant locations, see things only on. So I was looking at it as discovering information. So
yeah, it's more of divination. I think classically as a magic has been, to divine things spatially around you or in far distant places.
Okay, so I just need to do a logic check.
Yep.
Okay, let's see if there's any other skills that can help me on this.
The only thing I can think of for myself would be either survival or tracking, but I don't know that would help me to identify a creature.
Survival, time spent in the wilderness, to draw a connection.
Okay.
Yeah, the closest thing I have is closest thing I would have would be religion or dungeoneering. I don't think either of those would help.
How much bonus do you get from religion?
It's just 1 point, so 1d6.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that won't do much here.
Okay. All right, 3d6. I rolled a 12.
Okay.
I got a 14.
Okay, so you're both able to kind of draw the connection that if this is what you think it is, and you're drawing conclusions here, it looks like what you fought outside, the basilisks you fought outside, would be kind of like tadpoles, and then what you're looking at here would be the mama frog, essentially. So it looks almost fundamentally different, but it has similar qualities about it. Particularly the crudely drawn 6 legs. So the basilisks that you fought outside had 3 legs, except their legs were skinny, and they had long claws, and they were very almost their whole body was almost very skinny, and they just looked very freakish and young. Whereas the one you're looking at here looks full and thick and big, fat, short, stubby legs and thick, jagged scales. And that's about all you can gather from the picture.
Okay. So
Tarask would kind of look at them and be like, I guess you're right. We don't have a choice. Not now.
So Tobias, I'm assuming your name is.
He says, yes, the very same.
Okay, what else can you tell us about this creature?
He says, well, don't get stepped on by it. It's got big feet. It's big. It's big.
Okay. Can it? Does its gaze do anything to you like the younger does?
Yes, you would know that. And he says, oh, I would assume so. I would assume it'd be much more powerful.
Oh, lovely. And you want me to come at it from the front?
Mm-hmm.
And what is that thing gonna do?
Oh, and he'll push it over and he says, you see this liquid here? Well, when you pull this lever here and then you engage this propulsion system, the dart will go in, and he picks up one of the darts, and in his hand, it almost looks like a rolling pin with one part of it missing at the bottom and then a sharp tip at the end. And he's like, it'll suck the dart in, and then it'll suck up some of this here liquid. This is tranquilizer. This could put down, well, a mother basilisk. I've done it once before. It didn't last very long, but I got her first eye. Then she bit my leg off. But this time, if I get her other eye, you guys could just kill her.
How long did the tranquilizer last?
Hold on. Oh, it is at that point that you hear a loud howl, and I'm going to need to know everybody's mental defense scores.
11.
14 for me.
11.
Oh, yeah, that's not even close. Okay. And you hear this loud screech from outside, and it kind of sounds like a combination of a goose and like a dragon's scream. It's the strangest thing. I can't really make the actual sound.
It definitely wasn't saying Affleck.
No, it definitely wasn't saying that. And Tarask, when you turn around and you look out the window, you see claws. You see the fingertips, the claws come over top of the pen outside, and then you see this head raise its way over the top of the wall of the pen, and then it rips the wall down and goes straight for that bin of food that's outside. And in full view, it looks like that.
Oh, damn.
Wow.
It has more than 6 legs.
Yes, it does.
Wow.
How tall would we say this is when it's not upright?
Korak, how tall are you?
I'm probably around 7 feet tall.
So Korak would probably come up to about, I don't know if you can see my pointer or not, probably not. Do you see in between its front 2 legs here, its elbows, if you could call them that, its knees and elbow are almost touching, and then right above that, there's almost this circly little looking spot.
Yes.
That's about how tall Korak would be compared to that. And then another, 3 feet down would be that kneecap to his second right leg.
Okay.
So we're talking 10 to 12 feet tall.
Yes.
Yeah, at its highest, probably closer to 15 feet.
Okay.
At that arch of its back. Yep.
Okay.
And, yeah, for the moment, it seems preoccupied with shoving its face inside of this large bin. And Tobias, he motions for Korak to go and grab this piece of machinery he's hauled out for you.
Okay. What type of penalty am I going to have to use this thing? Because I don't really specialize in projectile weapons.
Mechanically speaking, it's just going to be a regular either agility or intuition check, whichever is higher for you.
Okay. It'd be agility. Okay. Oh.
Yeah. And you're pretty sure large hulking creature like this, it would be kind of hard to miss. And as you're picking up the machinery, he'll tell you need to aim for its throat, right underneath its jaw. That's the best spot.
Great. Okay, I will grab the weapon.
And you said that myself and I'm forgetting character
And
name
Tarask.
too. Yeah, Tarask and I are to be flanking it
on either side. Yeah, he says, yeah, you guys go on the sides and maybe poke at its feet or something. Don't look at its eyes, but you want to distract it.
Why do I not want to look at its eyes?
Because
small ones actually caused me to sort of freeze up at the very end of the battle. So, and if this is worse, that's not good.
Good point.
we should try to stay just slightly behind it so that we don't risk looking into its eyes.
Yeah, I would think probably sit about even with it between the first two sets of feet. Probably sit in between those, so then we're flanking it, but we're not in its field of vision. Kind of a tactical question on my end. The eye that he says that he's got the eye out of this one previous, one of the eyes out of it previously.
Yes.
Okay. Am I able to take at least a cursory glance at that wound, for like a better term, and see? I'm trying to discern if I would be able to use that as a tactical advantage, much similar to how I was able to attack the basilisk that was cut open previously.
At right now, it's got its face completely buried in the bin outside, and it appears to be close to finished. So you can't get a look at its eyes currently. But as soon as you can,
I did make it out whenever it came over and tore the wall down.
Yeah, you were kind of on the other side of the room, and if you came over the window to look, by the time you got over, it was already in the bin.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, Tobias, which eye did you take out last time? Because I'm going to hit it from that side.
He says, and he thinks for a second. The left eye. Yeah, I've got the left eye. Need the right one still.
You better be right. Okay, guys.
Okay, I'm actually going to position myself on the right-hand side. I get a feeling that he's not 100% sure, so I want to be on the side opposite of that, and then if it turns out to not be the case, then I can signal or do whatever I need to help.
Okay, so if we go out the front door, will we be towards the back of the beast or the front?
If you go out the way you came in, you will be... I was imagining that the entrance to the house, if you were to look at it from a top-down view, would be facing west, and that the pen is actually on the north side of the house. So if you were to go out of the entrance, the way you came in, you would be on the left side of the pen, in which the basilisk is currently.
Okay, which wall did he tear down?
He tore down the north-facing wall.
Okay.
Or she, rather.
Okay.
Mama Bear.
So I'm just thinking that if I'm going to the left side, then I'm going to have to go completely around the house the other way.
Yes.
Okay. So I guess I will do that if you guys want to head the other direction.
Well, you would also know that right now it only tore down one of the walls in the pen, and where it goes next after it's done munching is unknown.
Okay.
And besides, Tobias, he's going to be coming alongside with you because I'm taking the right-hand side.
Yeah, I'll come with you to my. Sorry, what's the character? Yeah,
Korak.
Korak.
Okay.
So I'll be going. I'll be the one doing the longest traverse to get to where I need to be, since I'm going around to the on the east side of the house.
Okay. So, well, I guess let's go.
Okay. So I will pull out my bow.
Okay.
For...
And I will engage the first dart into the thing. Get it ready.
Of course. I'm always charged up.
Yeah, Tobias will help you, and he kind of slots it in, and he pulls a lever, and it brings it in, and then he pushes the lever back in, and then it catches, and then he asks you to help him push, and as you do, you push it in, you can see bubbles coming in the hopper on the side, and it's sucking in all of this liquid into the dart, and then he pushes it off to the side, like pulls it down, and then he says, "All right, you're all set to go."
Okay.
The thing weighs... Hold on just a second. Because this might matter if it weighs too much for you to carry. I don't know.
I have 7 strength, so I'm at 170 pounds.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you'll have no problem picking this thing up. It's heavy. It's about 20 pounds. But looking at your sheet here, that's not going to be a problem for you to pick up and hold. Cool. So you are not slowed down by carrying that at all, which was what he was counting on.
Yeah.
Because he saw you, orc, strong. Okay, so you guys will make your way out and about. I'm going to make a roll quickly. I want you all to make agility stealth checks.
Okay. Can I use acrobatics for that, or does it have to be stealth?
You could use acrobatics in this case.
Okay.
Since you're hefting something, you're...
Oh Lord. 6.
16.
And then I just need to know Tarask.
That's 12, 14. And I don't have stealth, so it's just going to be a raw number. Okay, so that's 14.
Okay. Tarask and Korak both managed to slip away without making much ruckus, without making much noise. And the Basilisk itself, it's kind of like licking the bottom of the container, and it pulls its head up out of the thing, and then it hears Dane coming out around. You said you're going around back, around the outside of the house.
I'm taking whatever easiest way to traverse to get myself to the opposite side, but I'm also trying to keep from being seen or heard by that thing. Obviously, I'm failing at the heard part.
Yeah, it hears you basically rustling through the forestry that is on the backside of this house, and it kind of, like I said, it pulls its head up out of this bin, and and then it hears you, everything, and it will turn around, and it'll inadvertently knock the wall out of the house and knock the bin over, smashing it into the wall. The wall doesn't collapse itself. But as it begins to make its way out of the cage, at that point, you guys, the other two of you, and Tobias, who's trailing far behind, are there. You guys are right there, and we'll all need to roll initiative now. So you guys are within, maybe 15 feet of this gigantic basilisk.
Okay.
15 for me on initiative.
Okay.
I got a 19. Or correct.
Trying to see. 10.
Okay, then. All right, so first up we have Korak. You are the first to kind of see its first paw come out of the pen, and then it's like it's right there in front of you. It has not noticed you, however. It seems focused on what it heard around on the other side.
Okay. Are we on its blind side?
Left. Yes, you would be on its blind side. Yep.
Okay. Do I have a shot at its throat, or do I need to move into a better position?
Right now, would be actually that you've got a decent shot at this side. As it's coming around and everything, its head comes out and everything, and it's looking the other direction because that's where it heard the sound. So it's slinking around the right side, and yeah, you've got a large area of exposed neck right there.
Okay. I will take the shot.
Okay.
So that's my agility is 46. Like I said, I don't have any skill levels in projectiles.
Yep, so just straight agility. That actually 46 for an improvised weapon is really good. Or for something you're not trained in.
So that is a 13.
Ouch.
Okay, yeah. Well, what I want you to do is add one more d6 into that because it's unaware of you. And actually, I think technically you get a plus 2d6 bonus for that. Stealthing, unaware. Yeah, it's plus 2d6.
Okay.
Essentially sneak attack.
Yep, exactly.
So that is 19.
Good. Did you get triple sixes?
No, I did not.
Okay, yeah, that would have been 3 6s and then a 1. Okay, so yeah, the dart and actually when you pull the trigger on this thing, first of all, you're thrown back about 5 feet because it basically is spring loaded and it's got no counter. Like rocket launchers, they at least have blowback out the back, so it balances itself with energy. This thing is just a straight, like, wound spring, and it's just like, and it sends you flying backwards about 5 feet. It does knock you, make a strength test for me to see if it knocks you prone. This is going to be opposed.
Little cricket.
You're looking for a 14 or higher.
I got an 11.
So it knocks you back 5 feet, and it will knock you prone. But that dart goes sailing into the air, and it sinks into that thing's neck, right where you wanted it to go. And go ahead and roll 3d6 damage for me.
Uh, 10.
Okay. Now, did you roll any 6s?
Yes, I did.
Okay, cool. How many? Just one?
Just one.
Okay. So it goes in just far enough. That 1 point of damage was what you needed. It goes in just far enough, and you see the liquid begin to drain into it, and it turns its head towards you and hisses, and you've gained its attention. You have succeeded. Dane, it is your turn. Korak, you have you have another action you could use to stand up if you want.
Yeah, I have quick stand, so that's a free action.
Oh, okay, great. So you have another action, actually, if you have quick stand.
Okay. Does this can I use the dart gun again, or was it a one shot?
You could. It would take you at least an action to reload the darn thing.
Okay. I'm just hoping that this was enough of it to go in, because I guess I'm just going to then reach for my spear.
Okay, and as you do that, Tobias comes around the corner and he's like, he comes limping around. He's like, "Oh, good shot!" And then he'll go and hide behind a rock. And you've got your spear in your hand, and you have an action.
Okay. This is one of my throwing spears, so I'm going to launch it then.
All right, do it.
So that is 5d6. I don't get the 2d6 on this one because he's now aware of me, correct?
Correct.
So that's not good. 12.
Yeah, that one goes and it hits it, but it deflects off of its skin, and the spear itself lands on the ground, not too far from you, actually, about 10 feet away. And then, so yeah, you've on the ground, quick stand. Tobias comes. You grab one of your spears, you launch it, hits the ground. It is Dane's turn.
Okay. Did I get a look at its face and was able to discern which side he took the eye from?
Were you not there when he told everybody?
He said left, but I didn't trust his.
Okay.
The way he was saying it kind of made it sound like he wasn't 100% certain.
Yeah, right now you're kind of on the east. Well, let's see. Yeah, you're kind of on the east side of the house, and the basilisk is on the north side of the house. So you'd have to use at least a move action to come around and see the thing.
Okay.
And then you'd be able to verify.
Okay. Well, I guess the question would be: is it considered aware of me now?
It was aware of you before. You're unsure about if it is continuing to come your direction or not. And you were pretty sure that when you bumbled through the forest and you heard it hiss, you got the sense that you had gained its attention.
Okay. I will take my move action to head in that direction and see what I see. And then I'll determine what I'm doing next from there.
Yeah, basically the scene is unfolding where you see, mostly obscured by its broad right leg, but you see the tail end of one of those darts sticking out of its neck, just flopping around, sticking out of its neck. Okay. And it's biting at it. And as it's trying to bite at it, you see a spear tumble to the ground in front of it. And there you are about 20 feet away, maybe 15.
Okay. Again, at this point, am I able to verify that he actually did take the left eye out?
Yeah, you could because you could see its right eye, and its right eye is clearly there.
There. Okay. I'm going to hold my action. I'm going to kind of stay to the side. I'm in my head, I'm thinking, okay, before somebody got him sliced open and I was able to go in there and do an attack that did some significant damage. I'm going to hope that I can take advantage of that again. So I'm going to hold my action and wait to see if a wound gets formed that I can take advantage of.
Okay. All right. Yep. So you'll essentially be able to hop in and act at any point in the rest of the initiative order. So great. So next up is the Basilisk, who will less concerned now about the thing protruding from its neck. Presently, it will take a snap at Korak with its teeth. And I'm going to apologize in advance. He gets a 19 on his attack. Does that hit your melee defense?
It does not.
Okay, so his first attack, he comes in. He was clearly trying to kill you with one bite. He clearly dropped 2 dice from his attack roll to try to gain 1 for damage, and he failed. Yes, he was trying to kill you with his first bite. And when that doesn't work, you see him sniff in, or her rather, and she just goes, and it looks like she screams, but then this poison breath comes out from her.
Lovely.
And that's going to be a ranged attack, I think. Poison breath. Yeah, your ability to just kind of get out of the way. It's more of a spray than anything. So we've got 6, 6, 6. She criticals. That's an 18, 22, 23 for the poison breath, and that will hit. It's a 20-foot cone, so that will hit Tarask as well. So the damage is going to be 11 points of poison damage, and you are both moved along. I'm not using the new critical hit rules yet. Maybe next time. I haven't had a chance to fully review them yet, so we're going to stick to the old ones, and you are both moved along the nausea status track. You're both queasy. Nothing happens yet, but if you get much more of that, you will not be feeling all that great.
Okay. Was that me and him?
No, not you. That was Tarask and Korak.
Okay.
So yeah, how much damage did I say that was? That was 11, right?
11, yes.
And your soak will apply for that.
Oh, okay.
Because it's more of a corrosive poison than an actual, you know what I mean.
I'm still past half at this point now. I think we're supposed to tell you that.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking 11. I'm looking at Korak. I'm just trying to do quick math in my head here. There we go. Korak should be at 24. Tarask, you're at
13.
15, you said?
13.
13, cool. Thank you. And then that is the Basilisk's turn. Tarask, you are up.
Doesn't something happen to me when I pass the halfway point in my health?
I don't believe so.
Oh, sorry. I'm in a different system.
It's not 4th edition.
Yeah, I mean, in 5e or something, you'd be considered bloodied.
No, I think it might be either ubiquity or fate or something like that. There's a wound chart, or maybe it's the Subari playtest. I'm not sure, but I'm getting it mixed up. Okay, so I'm pretty low. All right, so I have my bow out. I'm gonna basically, I think, try to turn and get like out of the area where I just got sprayed. Maybe like pulling up my cloak a little bit to my face to try to cover it from what just got me. But as I reach the outside of the range, I would pull my bow back and try to aim for that empty eye socket with an arrow.
Okay, are you using your aim exploit?
Yes.
Okay, so technically on a battle map, you would not have moved at all because aim requires an action to use before you make your attack.
Oh, I see.
But that's all right. Narratively, yeah, I can see you taking a couple of steps just to kind of get out of the way of that puddle and whatever, and then you take an aim and you fire off a shot. That's no problem.
Okay, so that's a with the careful. Okay.
Yeah, so you should get a plus 2d6 bonus because your careful aim.
Yeah, 2d6. 2d6 on top of. I use my bows skill, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so that's 3d6, and that's a total of 8. Not good roll.
You rolled an 8?
Yeah.
Wait, how many dice did you roll? Because
3d6, 2 for the exploit, 1 for my bows.
And then your agility or your intuition dice.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was
gonna say, wait a minute. Yeah, just re-roll the whole thing again. You should be rolling 66.
So it's 20.
There you go. That's a hit. That's a hit. So you can roll that damage, which I don't know if you've got it marked here for what your damage is. I can check that for you though.
I'm not good at reading my chart yet. Maybe my chart's not good.
Longbow does 2d6 plus 2 piercing damage. And again, remember about luck dice, throwing them in there. Especially if you're aiming for like an eyeball, that'd be a good thing to dump all your like luck dice into.
Okay. Yeah, I think I only have 2 luck dice, I believe.
It looks like you have 3, unless you've used 1.
No, I did not. I'm gonna add 2 luck dice.
Okay, so make sure you keep track of which 2 those are, because if they roll 6s, they explode.
Okay. You know what? I'm using your software, I don't think I can keep track of that. so I'm
Well,
gonna roll
you can. You just like say, okay, roll 3 and roll 4 are my luck dice.
Oh, okay. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's actually exactly what I'll do. I'll say roll 3 and roll 4 on my luck dice. Only what is it? Okay, so 2 and a 6 for the luck dice.
Okay, so get your total for that. How much damage is that total?
12 total.
12 total. Now roll another d6 for that exploding luck die.
Another 2.
Okay, so 14 total.
14 total damage.
Good hit. Yeah, you hit right next to its eye, to its it would be its left eye, right up near its socket in its cheek, and you sink that arrow in right in a soft spot underneath it, and it kai-eyes out quite loudly, and does not like that one bit. And it starts to kind of thrash and hiss, and then Korak, you are up.
Korak, you're muted, by the way.
Yeah, you're muted. I was like, wait a minute, did I drop out of Hangouts or something?
I think I'm gonna actually drop the dart gun and hope that one dart is enough to do this, and grab my long spear this time, and I'm gonna charge in with that and attack.
Okay.
So and I think no. Okay, that's not good either. 13.
Yeah, when you run up to it, you realize kind of the scale of this thing, and you go to stab it in a part of its knee, and it's just thrashing around, having this arrow in its head, and it smacks you out of the way before you're even able to get a swipe off with your spear, but you have another action.
Okay, I will attack one more time. Not going to give up.
No, to you, this is the challenge you're looking for.
Okay, 21 that time.
Okay, do you? What's your hook?
My hook is trying new.
Okay, that's right. Loves trying new food. I'm thinking of. Let's see. I'm going to give you plus 1d6 because it is currently not paying any attention to you. It's aware you're there, so it's not a sneak attack, but it's kind of thrashing it around in pain at the moment. So go ahead and roll another d6 to that.
Okay, that's 6 more, so that'd be 27.
All right, that is good. That will be a hit. Finally.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, he's a tough beast. It's hard to puncture that skin, but you can go ahead and roll your damage. Don't forget your deadly strike.
Yes. That wasn't the greatest. 12.
Okay, you're going to toss any luck dice into that?
Sure. I'll do my last luck die. Okay, 13.
Of course. Fantastic. 13. At this point, it's not happy. I guess I'll just say that. Dane, you're up.
All right. Did that attack leave a wound that I could potentially reach?
Make a logic test for me. And
Logic for me, that's going to be 3d6.
And you could use. I'd be open to you using history, so you can add your history skill to that.
Okay. Okay, so
when you're thinking
I'll get
of
okay, so that'll be
wounds.
46.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that'll give me a 15.
Okay, yeah, you think you would be able to, if you were able to climb up to it, you would be dangerously close to its eyes, but you think if you could get up to where Tarask hit him with that arrow, you could jam that arrow down further and probably get it in there pretty deep, because that arrow is in there really deep. And
Okay.
it seems to have bypassed all of its thick
Armor.
hide. Yeah.
Okay, so the attack that Karak hit on didn't leave a wound I could get to.
No, he definitely punctured it, but it wasn't as deep. Like this arrow that he stuck just up underneath that soft part of his eye, it's sunk in there at least, like, I don't know, if an arrow is about 2 feet long, it's sunk in there at least a foot. It's in there.
Unfortunately, my jump high is only 3 feet, and my climbing is at 3. So,
Well, climbing and stuff like that, this wouldn't necessarily be that difficult to climb.
Okay.
It would be more of an extended test that I would have you do over the course of a few actions.
Okay.
You would be able to jump up to 3 feet without making a test. If you wanted to jump any higher than that, you would need to make a agility, or is it strength? A strength jump test, basically, with acrobatics or whatever you have that would apply.
Yeah, that stuff that would apply. So
I'm trying to figure out what the difficulty of that would be for you. I've never actually done a jump check like that before, because it's never come up. So that would be a first for me.
It's not like I'm looking at jumping like all the way up to his head.
Oh yeah, no.
It'd be more of like taking a running, using my distance to do a run jump and see if I can actually clear more than that 3 feet.
Yeah, no, you would be able to run and jump up to 3 feet, and jumps exceeding these values require strength attribute checks equal to the number of feet jumped vertically, or three times the number of feet jumped vertically. So if
I wanted to go 5 feet, then I would need to roll 15.
Yep.
Okay. No, I'm not going to risk that, especially since I only have 2d6 for strength. So, and I don't feel like spending my luck dice for that. So I will take just the standard run jump, get up, grab hold and start. Essentially, my first action is going to be the run jump. My second action is going to be the first climb.
All right, yeah, so you're able to get up about, it would be, let's see, if your climb speed is 3, that's multiplied by 5 feet. So you're able to get up about 8. You're basically able to scale this thing. Using all of your both actions, you can scale it. I will have you, however, make it'll be your choice. You can either, the thing is thrashing around, basically, and you can either use your strength to cling and hold on, or you can use your agility to position yourself in a way that would prevent you from falling.
Well, either way, it's still a 2d6. Now my number of luck dice is equal to equal to the number of d6s available for my skill, right?
Yes,
or
but
is it equal to my actual luck number?
No, it's equal to your luck dice pool.
Okay, so I've got a luck dice pool of 3, so I could use up to 3 dice to achieve this. Okay.
As long as you haven't used them yet.
No, I haven't.
Okay.
No. I'm going to go ahead and I'll use my, this is supposed to say, I'm going to use my strength to hold on, and I will use, I want to make sure I hold on. So I'm going to use 2 of my luck dice. And you said that those explode if I hit 6s.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm gonna roll my first 2d6, my standard roll first.
Okay.
So that was 9. Okay, and now my next 2, I rolled a 6. So roll 1 more, and same rule. If it's a 6, it explodes again.
Yep.
Okay, 21 total.
Very nice. I'm not even going to roll the opposed check because I can't roll high enough. So, yes, you're able to climb up and scale and basically get to the top where and you find purchase with those large red horns that are at the top of it. I'll share that picture again because that picture was badass. And that will end your turn. Let me pull the basilisk back up there again. Bloop. Oops. Okay. I'm assuming you're not talking to me because you're muted. So no big deal. Everybody's muted except me.
Sorry.
Yeah, nope. Next up is the basilisk. So yes, he will, or she rather, will regain her composure, and she will attempt to, let's see, Tarask. How far away did you see yourself when you shot your arrows? You or your arrow rather. In my mind, you were about 15 feet away.
Well, yeah. I mean, I would have been pretty much exactly as far away from the basilisk as Korak was when he fired the dart, because I would have been standing next to him.
Yes, and then Korak ran in. So yeah, you're about 15 feet away. It is going to... I will need an agility test from Korak to dodge the stomping of its feet as it swings around to sweep you with its tail. And it's got large spikes on its tail and it's trying to hit you with those.
Okay, I'm going to use acrobatics as well to keep out.
Yes.
That would bump me to 66, but I'm capped at 5, so...
It's a 17 on the attack roll towards you, Tarask.
Okay, so I don't have any acrobatics. I'll just be using a straight agility roll.
Oh, no, actually, this is just against your melee defense.
Oh, melee defense. Okay,
Yep.
so my melee defense is 11.
Okay, yeah, so yeah, you get...
Oh, wait, I'm sorry, melee... Oh, no, yeah, I don't have my swords out, so yeah, it's 11.
Okay, so yes, you get slammed with this basilisk's tail coming towards you. And it will slam into you for 7, 8, 9, 10 points of piercing damage.
Oof.
Minus soak.
Right.
Yep.
And I rolled a 18.
Okay, I was going to say you're looking for a 13 or higher on that one.
Okay, so I jump over the tail as it comes by.
No, actually, what you're avoiding is it's turning around. You're basically right there at its feet. You're stabbing at it, and it's like, doosh, 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 and you're trying to dodge out of the way if it's stomping on you and crushing you.
Okay.
And yeah, it swings its tail around. It slams into Tarask and hits him, and then it will. And actually, come to think of it, I'm going to need another... This one's going to have to be a strength test from Dane. And it's not going to be difficult.
Oh, crap.
It's not going to be difficult because you've got a hold of the horns up there, and you're not really swinging all that much. So just give me at least an 8 or higher.
Excuse me. All right. Got an 11.
All right.
That was going to be
Yes, you managed to hold on and not get stabbed by gigantic horns. Good job. So, that was essentially the Basilisk used both of its turns to do that. That big tail sweep. And so next up is indeed Tarask.
Oh, back up again. Okay. So after taking that humongous hit, I'm going to basically just pull out 2 arrows and just try to put them right back in the same spot as I did before. I'm using my rapid fire.
Mm-hmm.
Watch where you aim those things, boy.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Yeah, as Dane shouts from the top, "Watch where you're aiming those things!"
So on the first shot, I'm going to add my luck dice,
Okay.
making it 5d6,
Okay.
and I did not roll a 6 with the luck dice. So that's 14 to hit,
Yep, that one's gonna hit.
and the second one I'll be making without my luck dice. I'm just going to roll that now.
Yep.
And that's an 11.
That one will not hit.
Okay, so that one kind of skitters off his hide. And the damage, longbow is 3d6 plus 2. Yes.
3d6 plus 2? What, do you have like Deadly Strike or something?
Oh, wait, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
No,
the longbow damage is 2d6 plus 2.
Oh, 2d6. So that's 12 damage.
Okay. 12. Did you roll any 6s?
No, 2 5s.
Okay. That is fine. You sink one arrow close to where you had gotten the other one, but not quite there. A little bit lower, so it doesn't go in nearly as deep. But you are peppering its face up nicely. And yeah, it basically just has these 2 arrows sticking out of its face. And that was just one of your actions.
Oh, right. That's right. I fired 2 arrows in my rapid. So, okay. Can you use the same exploit twice? I mean, I can't use that one, but I'm just curious.
Yes, it says once per turn. You can fire 2 shots instead of 1. So, yeah, you could use that again your next turn.
Right. No, I meant, oh, yeah, okay. So still against the same enemy. Got it. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to fire a 3rd arrow, this time using careful aim.
Now, actually, aim is an action. Careful aim bolsters the regular aim exploit. So when you use aim, it takes an action. You just happen to get a plus 2d6 bonus because of your careful aim.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, but I still have an action left, right?
You do, but that action has to either be using aim, which would then fizzle out and do nothing because you had no more actions left, or firing an arrow. Now you do have, and I'll just say this, you have the Deadeye trait, and once per day you can automatically hit with a ranged shot.
Yeah, so I'll just use that. That'll be my...
Cool. So yeah, you just roll the damage on that one.
Okay, so that's 12 with 1 6.
Okay. 12 with 1 6. So there we go. All right. Very good. Very good. Another arrow comes searing into its, this time down closer to its neck where the needle is currently resting. And it is now Korak's turn.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm actually just, after I fire that 2nd arrow, I'm just going to turn to Tobias and just be like, how long does this sedative take?
I was going to ask the same thing.
He just kind of pops out of the rock, from behind a rock, and he says, I don't know. I don't remember. 5 minutes? 10 minutes?
Oh, crap.
Am I able to hear him say that?
Probably not. If you want to try to hear him, you can make an intuition check.
Okay, I'll try that with 3d6. 11. With
Yeah.
6.
Yeah, you heard it.
Okay. Now I was
You're like,
holding my
what
I
the
was holding my
fuck?
action earlier. Technically, is my action still held to where I could act out of turn?
That turn has since passed, so that
Okay.
that held action, yes, was forfeited.
All right, no problem.
Okay, so how far away am I from the wall of the house? Or are we all from the wall of the house?
Of the house, right now you're right in front of the pen. So the wall of the pen that's knocked down, you're like 5 feet away from that. The house, you're about 20 feet away from the wall of the house, which has since been smashed in by the mama's tail.
Okay. Okay, that's not going to work then. I was going to use it as something to kick off of and jump towards it as I attacked. So
If you want to make an intuition roll to just take a quick gander at your surroundings to see if you can find something to gain leverage with, I'll let you do that.
Okay. Never mind. I rolled a 5. So, okay. I'm going to go in and I'm going to feint.
Okay.
And then I will attack again. So that'll bump me up to 66 to hit him. Her. Okay. Missed it by 1 from hitting a critical. So.
Oh.
So 25 to hit.
I would say I'll let that one hit because she is slowing down at the moment.
Okay. I'm not doing very good on damage. That's only a 9, so.
Did you get any 6s?
I did not, so it didn't do anything.
Yes, the spear will go in. You'll find purchase, but you can't penetrate its thick hide.
Okay.
You do have another action. Oh no, you used feint.
No, I faint.
Got it. Great. So next up is Dane.
All right. Now that I am where I am, looking at its left eye socket, what does it look like?
You would need to climb up a little bit further. You would need to use at least an action to climb over there and get a look at it.
Crap. Because I know I had something in mind, but you're saying just because of the distance, it wouldn't be possible to achieve it. So I'm closer to that arrow in question than I am to the left eye.
You're about equally away from both of them because you're down its neck a little bit.
Okay, I thought I was up higher on its head. So,
you are. You're. Let's see. Let me share the picture again, and I'll show you or try to describe where you're at here. So, you see its glowing eye there, and then let's see. Try to find a good reference point. Look at the tallest spike on its back there. There's almost 2 spikes there competing to be the tallest, but I'm looking at the one that's closest to its head. So the one to the right. You are about about 2 spikes up from that. You're right up in that area.
Okay.
Along its neck.
I would need to kind of do a little maneuvering up towards the front of its head before I could discern what my chances are on things. Okay. Is there a way that I can position myself to where am I going to be able to position myself essentially in between the eyes, so to speak, and then be able to, if I make that move, then be able to effectively make my decision from there for my next action?
Yeah.
Okay. Then that's what I'll do. My first action is going to be to move myself up towards the head to where I can be able to easily, pretty much my next action is either going to take me to that arrow or to that eye, just basing on what I see.
Yeah, you're able to climb over, no problem, and get to where you're at. It is thrashing around still.
Okay.
Nothing you can't handle, and you are able to kind of hover right where its eye socket's at, and essentially its eye socket is there. You see how this eye is here? This is the eye it still has, and you see just underneath that is that soft little eye area where we usually have like the shadows under our eyes, that soft that gooey spot right there. So essentially you're right above that. You're right there. Yeah.
Okay, and then if I'm looking at the other eye, looking at its eye socket, pretty much what I'm trying to determine is, would I be able to take an elemental fist shot to that eye socket and do significant damage?
From what you had gathered earlier and what I had told you before was that you think going for the eye socket might not necessarily be the best. As you look at the eye socket, it looks crusted over, it looks thick, but the spot where that arrow is sticking out, however, is prime real estate.
All right, then that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to that arrow, and I'm going to pretty much I'm going to do essentially, MMA turn. I'm going to try to hammer fist the arrow to where it gets driven further down into its cranium.
Okay, just make an attack roll for me.
Standard attack. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Do I want to use my last luck die for this? Yeah, I do. So I'm going to do my 3d6 first, and then I'll do my 1d6 luck die.
Sure.
Oh crap! I better explode like big time. I just rolled 5, 3 and 2 1s. Nope. There went my last die.
Well, what'd you get total though? 9?
Yep.
You're not aiming for it. You're aiming for the arrow, which is right in front of you. So it wasn't a very difficult target to hit. So you do manage to hit it. Maybe you didn't hit it quite as hard as you had hoped, but you definitely managed to slam that arrow, and you begin hammering it down further into it. What I want you to do is roll the longbow damage again, except this time...
You said it's 2d6 plus 2?
It is indeed 2d6 plus 2, except this time the resulting damage will bypass all of its soak.
Okay. Will Deadly Strike still apply at this point?
No.
Okay, so and my Elemental Fist and Iron Fist don't apply either.
Correct. You're just doing the arrow damage. You're jamming that arrow into its cranium.
Okay, so here we go. 11.
Okay, it takes all of that, and it does not like it. Let me see where we're at. There. It does not like that one bit, indeed. That is both of your actions. It is currently the Basilisk's turn. It is going to basically try to crush you, Dane, by shoving its face into the ground. And like if we didn't have arms, how would we go about getting a bee off of our face that's stinging us? We'd shove our face into something. That's exactly what it's going to do, and try to shove you into the ground with it and smush you.
So I'm going to need to do, I guess, the agility.
This is going to be against your... Well, no, yeah, this will be against your melee defense, because that takes those things into consideration. I hate to tell you this, but he just critted with a 23.
Oh, God.
And let's see.
As long as you don't do 23 points of damage, I'm fine.
You will be moved along blunt damage. So you will be dazed, so you can mark that down however you like. Currently, it doesn't do anything, but if you take any more blows like that, it will. So she just slams you into the ground, and she will do 17 points of blunt damage.
I'm down to 6 health.
And that was her first action. Her second action will be to... Now, if you want, you can let go. when she slams you into the ground.
Absolutely. At this point, I have no choice.
Okay, she does wind up doing a little bit more damage to herself when she does that by pushing that arrow in even further. It's not enough to kill her, however. And at this point, she is going to try to run away. And as you are dazed there on the ground and she's stomping around to turn around and go run away, I need you to make an agility test to get the hell out of the way of one of those feet. And I need the same from Dane. You're looking for the difficulty for it was a 13 or higher.
I'm sorry, was that me?
There's no way I can get a 13.
Uh,
I've only got 2D.
it was a Korak.
There's no way I
Okay, so I got 11, 13, 17, 18. I got 18, so.
All right, so you're easily able to dodge out of the way, but for Dane, who's lying on the ground, he will not be so lucky, and he will get pummeled by one of its feet, moving him to the disoriented condition on the status track, and you will suffer negative 1d6 to your willpower checks. Oh, no, to your intuition checks. I'm sorry. To intuition checks. You'll take a negative 1d6 to future intuition checks, and you will take 7 points of blunt damage.
Okay, I'm down to 4.
Okay, she will begin to run away, and let me see. I gotta check how far she can move in one turn. And Tobias will pop out of the rock and say, "Don't let her get away! Don't let her get away! She's almost dead." I'm just trying to find her movement speed. What did I do with my tab? There it is. Movement speed. Where are you at? Right there. Oh, she's fast. Yeah, she will begin to just charge out of there. And by time it gets to Tarask's turn, she is about 20 feet away. Well, no, from you were already 15 feet away, so she's about 35 feet away from you now. And it's your turn, Tarask. I think if you're talking, you're still muted.
Yeah, sorry, I had to actually get a little water on my thumb pad, and I couldn't move the mouse.
I hate that. Oh, I hate that so much.
Because I was making a bottle, and I got water in it. I was like, oh, no. Yeah, so...
Failed that agility check.
So that's still within range of my bow. So I would kind of like, out of the corner of my mouth, say to Tobias, right as I'm about to take a shot, I would just say, maybe you should have healed us before sending us against a basilisk, you lunatic, and fire my shot. If I can get the water off my...
Are you aiming?
Yeah, I will.
I would.
I'll make the one shot this time.
Now, unless I read otherwise in the future, I believe, and I could be wrong, but I believe there's nothing saying that you can't use careful aim in conjunction with rapid shot.
Oh, I wasn't sure. I thought in one of the instructions it said one of them couldn't be used in conjunction with another. And
you could be right. You could, and I wasn't sure about that. But what I'm reading here on your character sheet, if you've copied them straight from the thing, then those two things.
And I'm pretty sure I did. I mean, I did copy and paste. That's how yeah, because I mean, it's even in the same font. So I definitely.
Careful aim. When aiming, your bonus to hit increases to 2d6.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't.
Yeah, I would say that aim then would apply to the first shot of the rapid shot and not to the second shot of the rapid shot.
Right, the second one I would just be pumping out as fast as I can.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so
Kind of like how when you do 2-weapon attack, your second attack is usually a lower. It's usually got -2 to it already, so makes sense.
So that's going to be 66 on the first shot, which is a 28. This might sound silly, but on your app, when I roll a bunch, it only shows me the last 3. So I see roll 4, 5, and 6.
Well,
is there a way to scroll up?
Look over to the left. There, you should have a roll history of all that stuff.
See. Oh,
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, I see. Perfect. Okay, so I actually did roll 3 6s on that first one.
Oh, fantastic.
Nice.
The 3rd dice and the 5th and the 6th dice. So that one will crit. I'm just going to roll the other one here while I have it. So that's no aim. That's just bows and agility. So that's 4d6. So that's a 17.
All right, those are both hits.
Okay. And what's the roll on a crit?
So the new rule is different. Right now I'm sticking to the old one, but you'll essentially move it along a status track. It's an automatic hit if you crit, and you move it along on a status track according to the damage type that you do, which is piercing, which will likely be bleeding.
Okay, so still the same 2 plus 2.
Yep, 2d6 plus 2, yep.
Which is going to be a 5 on that first one.
Okay.
And 8 on the second one.
Okay, 6s are important.
No 6s.
Do you have any?
6s on anything.
Okay. Because you critted, I feel like there's got to be something more here. So, let's see. I'm going to say, normally, if you crit doing something else mundane that isn't combat related, I'll usually grant you a luck die to your luck die pool. So we'll do that here, and I'll let you immediately use that luck die to add to the damage of your arrows.
Okay, so I'll just roll an extra 2 dice then and add that to it. It was 8 and 5, right?
Yeah, we'll take the higher of the two. We'll take the 8, and then add 1 d6 to that for a luck.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay, so that's another 5. So it's going to be 18 total damage between the 2 arrows.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm thinking of it a little bit differently, but yes, your arrows go sailing into the air, and you manage to catch it underneath one of its legs, right where Dane had been poking at it, trying to get it. And the arrow sails, the first one sails, and it hits just beside it, and opens up that wound just a little bit more, but it doesn't really go in. The second arrow, though, comes in right next to it and jams itself up in between its legs, and blood begins gushing out, and it will move another like 30 feet before it collapses and the ground shakes, and it kind of slides forward as it, and the glowing eye will slowly begin to fade away until it goes out.
So does that mean it's dead? I guess I will go in and make sure it is dead.
She's dead.
Okay.
Okay. I'm about to go out of character here, but the way I see it is, I got a little bit of rage in me right now. I'm gonna walk over to Tobias. I'm gonna close my fist, and you haven't seen Iron Fist, but if you guys have, pretty much, I'm going to close my fist, and it's going to light up red. And I'm going to look at him and go, I sincerely hope you have a way to heal us.
Well, why don't you make an intimidation check?
This will be an intimidation.
Yeah, why don't you make an intimidation check? It's charisma.
What would that be? Charisma. So my charisma is a 2d6 plus I get another 1 for the
intimidation.
For my intimidation.
Can I?
Could I use my martial arts in this sense, since I'm using my fist
No, martial arts has more combat related. It's just intimidation. Yeah.
Okay. I
Can I
figured
just
I'd
try to help intimidate him and just put an arrow behind his feet so when he goes to back up from whatever he's about to do, he has nowhere to go and just is a little extra scared.
Yeah. Go ahead and you roll another.
Okay. I roll 13.
Okay, and then Tarask will be aiding you.
And
How does aiding work in this system? I haven't looked at that.
It depends on the situation. If it's an extended task, you will essentially each have different tasks that you are attempting to do, gaining you successes on faster. So you're looking for a certain number of successes. With in this situation, I gauge the circumstances. So in this particular situation, you are approaching him, and Tarask is approaching him almost separately. Not almost separately, literally separately. And so you're going to roll separately for your each individual intimidation. Now,
what would I roll for this?
It's charisma.
That's what I thought.
Oh, one of my rolls was a 6.
Yeah, that only matters during damage, because if a creature soaks all of the damage, it still takes 1 point of damage from any 6s rolled.
Oh, okay.
So I rolled an 8, but there's no 6s.
Yeah, the 6s won't matter. No big deal. So you come up to it, and you're to Tobias, and your fist lights up Dane. And he'll begin to like back up a little bit. He's clearly like taken aback by you, and then he'll trip a little bit over an arrow that's behind him, and he'll put his hands up and he'll say, "Listen, I can heal you guys. You guys can rest here. It's fine. But I have to go right now. I gotta get that eye while it's still fresh and juicy." And he'll start walking over to the basilisk body.
So I'm going to look over at Korak and just say, "You want to raid his kitchen?"
Definitely. Give me a moment, though. So it's obviously dead. Okay. I have something called bloodlust. Okay. And I heal from drinking the blood of a fresh kill. Is basilisk blood... Do I know if that would be safe for me to do that?
That's a great question. Why don't you make a logic survival test and see what your orc senses are about to drink or not to drink.
Okay, 7. I'm gonna drink it.
Yeah, you totally. It works, and your bloodlust will work. You can roll your 2d6 to recover.
Okay, I'm fully back to health.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. And
not bad.
It's a
little bite to it.
Yeah, and it's about, maybe 20 seconds later, Dane, you notice he stumbles around and then he collapses to the ground. Unconscious. Actually, before that happens, I want you to make a constitution test for me.
Okay.
I'll at least give you that. So that's going to be endurance. And you could add survival to that as well.
Okay. 46.
Yeah, you're looking for whatever the difficult is. I think it's 16.
Okay. I got 20.
Oh, very nice. Okay, so you don't collapse. Retcon, you don't collapse. However, let's see. You do... Where is it? Nauseated. Where is it? You keel over and begin vomiting.
Okay.
And yeah, you're like, you're just feasting on this, and you're like, and you stretch and you crack some bones and yeah, and you start to walk and then your stomach like and then you're just like has a little bite to and you start spraying, you start vomiting out.
Oh, Family Guy.
Yeah, exactly, and you just start puking everywhere.
Tarrasque is going to take a step back and just be like, I'm pretty sure whatever was in his kitchen would have been better than that.
Yeah, but you do gain the effects of drinking the blood of a fresh kill, because it's more about the. I think it's for the orc gladiator. It's more about the ritual of drinking the blood of your foes than it is about the actual blood itself. So, yeah, you're vomiting, and
I'm going to step into the room that had all the books, and the lore master in me is going to do a little exploring.
Okay, so Dane, or not Dane, Korak. You are drawn to, as soon as you wipe yourself up and you gain a little bit of your composure, you're still like you begin to think about its teeth, and you had been wanting a new weapon for a long time. You had this idea in your head of this weapon that you feel would suit you, and you begin to start to think that the teeth of this thing would make really good spearheads.
Okay.
So if you want to go about extracting a few of those, you'll be up at its face with Tobias, who is currently jamming an instrument back behind its eye and carefully trying to carve out this eye.
Okay. Sure.
Okay, hold on, give me just a second, because there is a rule for this. It's going to be just a logic test. I do remember that much. I would say you could add your survive. Well, maybe not this time. Survival can't apply for everything.
My love of new food. What about yours? I mean,
it's essentially an extended task, so you're not going to really fail. It's just going to take more time. So it's going to be, you're going to be looking at 3 intervals of about 15 minutes each.
Okay.
And you need 3 successes. And if you get, I think it's 3 failures, then you fail at the task. However, it's kind of hard to fail at something like this and ruin the tooth, since you're literally just carving the damn thing out. So we're just rolling to see how long it takes.
Okay. So the first one is a 7.
Yeah, you start going around and you realize you're just cutting around along the wrong part of the tooth. While he's doing that, Tarrasque, what are you doing?
I think, Tarrasque is actually pretty severely injured. He's got punctures all over him, so I think he's actually kind of just unstringing his bow, putting it back on his back, and just kind of finding something to lean on.
Taking a breather?
Yeah. He's down to 3 HP on a meta level.
Yeah, so I think it's about an hour that you need in order to roll your endurance dice pool and regain some of that. And certainly while Tobias and Korak are working on the Basilisk, and Dane is inside investigating some things, you could take a breather and you can go ahead and roll your endurance dice pool and regain that much health back. As you kind of pat yourself down, patch yourself up, take a breather, recompose.
All right.
My primary focus is I'm wanting to find that book that he took from me. Because I want to read it.
Let's see, you know where he said it, because in his haste, he set it down to pull out a different book about, eyeball removal and things like that. So he set it on top of the bookshelf, and it's still there. It's still just sitting there.
Okay. If I were to take the time to really go full lore master on this and really read it, how long would it take for me to essentially absorb the knowledge of this book?
Well, you can spend an hour with it and relaxing and roll your endurance dice pool to regain that much health back. And you kind of kick back with an apple, and you just start going to town on this book that you apparently aren't supposed to read. I'll tell you what you read in a moment after I get another logic test from Korak.
Okay. Can I go ahead and roll my endurance dice?
Yes.
Okay.
Another 6, or a 6. So I'm getting worse.
Yes, you are managing to carve away at it. So that'll still count as 2 failures, but I'll at least tick it as 1 success, because you can only butcher a thing for so long before you before you finally succeed at butchering it fully. So you're not very delicate, as it were, and you're just kind of like, I think I cut here, and blood spraying and all kinds of stuff, and you're just kind of going to town on this thing. Let's see, Tarask is resting. Dane, as you read through this book, you are able to ascertain that this is a book written by Tobias, and it's less of a book and more of like field notes, and it details the process in which one could forcibly mate basilisks and breed them, and then it goes on to, in other chapters, to talk about various and catalog different things that have been bred out, like certain gene pools that have been fully eliminated, some that are things he's working on, and other gene pools that he's trying to enhance. And one of the things that you noticed he got rid of, or is attempting to breed out, is the association with lizard, basically. And his focus, it would seem, that the best that you can guess. Well, why don't you make a logic test to see if you can string some of these things together. Right. The first one is obvious. He's trying to get rid of lizard roots from it.
Right. 14.
Yeah, you're able to figure out that it appears he's trying to breed out anything natural from the basilisk and only keep in the things that make the basilisk a fey type creature. To what purpose, you couldn't speculate, but you also happen upon a page that basically is a list of basilisks. They each have their own number and catalog number, and there's a shit ton of them. And you begin to think that it's no coincidence. In fact, you may have already drawn this conclusion, that it was no coincidence that you guys were attacked by basilisks in this area, because this guy is clearly breeding them, and they're all over the place. With that, we'll go back to Korak. I need you to make another test for me.
Okay. Ooh, I'm getting worse. I got 5.
Okay, yep, you're butchering right along. It's been about 45 minutes. and you are about halfway of getting the first tooth out.
I only need 2.
So now that you've sawed away this much at it, it turns into a strength test for you now, because now it's a matter of not figuring out where to cut, because you've essentially cut everywhere. Now it just becomes a matter of just cutting through the damn root of the tooth to get it out.
Okay.
So go ahead and roll a strength test for me on that one.
Okay, that's a 14.
That's a success. So you've got 2 successes so far. It's been about an hour, and Tarask, you finish your little nap. Dane, you finish reading the book, or at least you finish resting, so you get your health back. You know, you finish your apple, get a drink, and you put these things together with your book. Before I give Tarask and Dane a chance to do something, I want Korak to make another strength test for me as you try to rip this first tooth out.
Damn. And 8.
Okay, that's actually enough. You were looking for a 7 or higher. Yeah, because at this point, the test got easier and easier as it went on. And you're like, and you're not getting it with your arms, so you position yourself sideways and you kick it out with a foot, and it goes flying and it actually hits Tobias in the side, and he looks at you and he's like, "What the hell are you doing? Come on, I'm doing important work here." And just keeps carving away at this eyeball.
So am I.
And then, so yes, you've managed to extract 1 tooth.
Okay.
You feel fairly confident that getting the next one out might not be such a chore. It'd be a little bit easier. But right now you notice Tarask and... Well, first of all, what is Tarask doing after he... essentially, the way I'm seeing it is you're sitting there meditating, and then at about the time you reach your peak of your meditation and peace and calm, you open your eyes as soon as a tooth hits the ground, and you hear Tobias yelling, and you open your eyes, and what would be the first thing Tarask does at this point?
He's not muted, so
Yep, Rory, if you're talking, we can't hear you. If you're not talking, then that's okay too. He's still meditating. Dane, what are you up to at this point?
I guess the question would be: have I pretty much finished this book? Have I been able to glean all the information I could potentially glean out of this?
There's tons of stuff that you haven't read, but you've kind of gone over each of the chapters and you've seen what they are, and most of it is stuff that it isn't important to you. It's just information. It's cataloged information that only applies to the scientist who's working on the stuff.
Okay. I'll place the book back where it was. Let's see here. Okay. Just taking a look here and seeing what. I am going to put the book back where it was, just so, and do everything I can to place everything back the way it was. I'm going to. I'm part of me is really wanting to go Inquisitor on him, but I'm going to kind of hold off. I want to see. I'm still not in completely well enough condition. I'm still under half hit points right now, even with that heal that I did. So I'm going to take this time. I'm going to take a seat. Oh, We just lost Roy. I'm going to take a moment. I'm going to take a seat. Are we looking at potentially another hour's worth of time? I'm going to be able to roll another endurance die pool, or
That can only happen once a day.
okay, it's only once a day. Okay, I
Yep.
wasn't sure on that. Okay, then in that case, I'm just going to kind of sit back and wait, and if I get called to assist, I will proceed to assist. But for now, I just kind of want to.
Hello?
I want to evaluate
Hey, there he is.
what I've read.
that
I
was
want to
weird.
evaluate what I've read and kind of determine what's going to be my next course of action on this guy. Because the fact that he's sitting here and trying to breed basilisks to make them, for all intents and purposes, a lot more sinister than they already are, bothers me.
Yeah, you're not sure if, unless religiously speaking, you have a thing against Fey type creatures, which exist in exuberance around this world, and not all are nasty. You wouldn't necessarily think that he is doing this for nefarious purposes.
Okay.
Just that unnatural, yes. Nefarious, it's undeterminable.
Okay. It is definitely unnatural, but I also don't want to. I've already intimidated him once and got him kind of scared of me. I'm trying to avoid that because he still offered to help us further along until we make our next trek. So I'm just kind of mulling things over in my mind.
And now we can head back over
I guess
to.
I guess I'll go into my meditative state that I was taught by my master.
We'll head back over to Tarask.
So Tarask would just kind of stretch and yawn and kind of look over and be surprised that Korak is still working on that tooth. And just kind of stand up, and he would be done waiting. So he would walk back inside the cottage and go towards the kitchen and try to see if he could find something to eat, because after his meditation, he's hungry.
Yeah, you go into the kitchen, and the wall to the kitchen where the window was that you saw the pen out there, that wall is gone. It's smashed in. So a lot of the kitchen is destroyed, but conveniently, a little ice box is still there and has a few apples and a loaf of what would appear to be some type of homemade bread that's been keeping cold in here.
Yeah, so I would like rip the loaf of bread in half, take an apple, and go walk over. Not towards Tobias and Korak, but towards, sorry, what's the last name?
Dane.
Dane, sorry, yes. I'd walk over towards Dane to see what he was up to.
And at this point, you see me kind of in not a similar meditative state, but I'm very clearly in a meditative state of my own at this point. But my meditative state is a lot more aware because of my training, to where I'm meditating, but I'm also very aware of what's going to happen, so I can react at a moment's notice.
So I would just kind of walk in, and I would probably be making noise, so I might startle him. And I would just, if I did, I would just ask him what he's reading.
Well, I've long since finished reading, so you wouldn't even see that at this point.
Oh, I see. Okay. Then yeah, so I would just kind of look in, see him there, and just kind of walk back out through the wall that's not there.
Yeah, the inside of the house is markedly stinky because of the bin that the basilisk cleared out. There's still residual stank there, and it's gross. And as you walk by that hits your nostrils and kind of nauseates you for a moment, but you're able to walk through, and you see Tobias just finishing up popping a big eyeball out. The eyeball is about the size of a not quite the size of a basketball, but not quite as small as a softball. Maybe the size of a size 4 soccer ball. One of the little kids' soccer balls. It's about the size of that, and for him, he's a small folk. He's trying to carry it with one hand, but he's being really careful with it. As he climbs down, he's kind of like climbing, and then he He stumbles a little bit and catches himself, and then he finally gets to the ground, and he's got a big smile on his face, and he's hopping off with this eyeball that he's carrying back to his home, and he's going to walk right past you.
So I'm just gonna kind of take my food and kind of move it out of the way of the eyeball and make sure it doesn't touch, and just kind of be like, yeah, when you making dinner?
He stops and he says, "Dinner?" And then he looks over at his kitchen and sees his wall missing, and he's like, "Oh, looks like we'll have to order out." And he just keeps walking.
And I'm just gonna mouth the words to anyone who would look at me and just be like, "Order out." What?
Yeah, it's at that point you'll see Korak over there, either doing something else or beginning on another tooth. So what's Korak up to?
I'm gonna begin on the second tooth, and so.
Okay, so for since you've had some experience tooth cutting, you can add a d6 to the roll for your logic test to see if you can figure out where the best place is to cut in. You're looking for a 10 or higher.
Okay, I failed the first one. Rolled a 7.
Okay, yeah, you just start poking. You're like, I think this is the spot.
Yeah.
And you're like, damn it, nope. Just spend 5 minutes getting your cutting device back out. And Tarask, you would have an opportunity to go over there and help him if you chose to.
So yeah, I would just kind of walk up like I know what I'm like I know exactly what I'm doing because I cut Basilisk teeth into spears all the time, and I'd be like, looks like what you want to do is go just like right along there. I'm just gonna take my hand and kind of like indicate a line.
Okay, make a logic test for me.
Okay.
See if where you point him to cut is true.
Rory, I think that was directed at you. And you're muted.
Yep. That's a 10.
Okay. Yes. So with Tarask's help, Korak, that will turn your first failure into a success, basically. And so for that first 15 minutes, you guys are just kind of, carving away at different angles and stuff like that. It's at that point that Dane, you hear a side door open to the hut that you're in, and you can hear the clug thump of Tobias's feet going by, and he'll walk down the hallway. And you would have heard him do that.
Okay. At that point, I would stand and kind of brush myself off from being on the floor. Excuse me. And I'm not going to go and try to sneak behind him or anything like that. I'm just you need any help? Say it loud enough to where you can hear me.
He says, "Oh, no, I've got it. Thanks."
Now I'll go into the kitchen and I'll grab me another apple.
Sure. Yeah, so let's do another 15 minutes. Go ahead, Tarask and Korak, both with the logic tests.
You're not getting any help from me. 3.
I tripped 3 ones? Or
I only have 2 in logic, and it's a 1 and a 2.
okay.
Ouch.
I got a 3, 1, and a 1, so
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, you basically go in at the completely wrong angle, and you just wind up hitting the tooth instead of going up towards the root. So another 15 minutes goes by, no closer to your intended result.
Okay.
And yeah, all is quiet in the house. Basically, Tobias went into a room, shut the door behind him, and you haven't heard anything since. Dane.
Okay.
Okay, let's have another round of tests. Logic test.
Okay. 7. I'm rolling way too many ones.
Round the dice.
So,
And then Rory. Well, you're not muted, but we can't hear you again if you're talking. I'm going to assume you rolled awesome. two 5s, or a 5 and a 6. And
He spent luck die and rolled 3 6s.
there you go. There you go. So, yeah, well, you weren't able to make this one a success, but you've gotten to the point now, you've hacked away at it so much that now it's a strength thing.
okay.
So, yeah, you can make a strength test, and you're looking for a 10 or higher on that.
Okay, that's 13. So
Yes. Yes, you're able to pull it loose.
Hello?
Hey, there he is.
There, Rory.
Jeez, I don't know. My headphones keep like, I kicked it before because I was grabbing my kid, and now I think it keeps not realizing that I have my audio jack plugged in. So, fun times. Yeah, so I actually heard what you said, and I was actually pretty close. I rolled a 5 and a 4.
Okay. That's close enough for government work. So, you guys, you managed to get the tooth loose enough to where Korak could grab it and basically just finish ripping it out. And you now have 2 basilisk teeth that would make fantastic spearheads. You are exhausted, though. And in fact, you will move to I just had it up. Why did I flip the page? I get fidgety and I start flipping pages.
143.
Yes, thank you. You are... Where are we? Tiredness. Yes, you are flagging.
Okay.
So you'll get negative 1d6 to all skill checks. Until you rest or shake it off. So, and I believe shaking.
That's gonna be my question: is when does my state go away from the critical hits?
I would say just by resting, you were only ever dazed. I don't think you ever got
No,
to.
actually, I went up to the next one.
Okay, so you're still a little dazed, but you can.
Okay.
I forget how long it takes to do that.
Shaking off is a action. It's on page 141.
Okay, so
Or an effort.
okay, they wear off after 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Or with rest essentially. So yeah, you're back to normal.
Okay. Alrighty.
So
Is there a pool of water or something around here? Because I'm assuming that Korak is now covered in basilisk blood and gum and.
You make a perception check, see if you can get a sense of where there might be some water.
We're in a swamp. So.
Can I just are you guys hearing me?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, you are. Okay, I was like, just make sure. Once a day, I can find food and water
Nice.
if we're outside.
Yeah.
So maybe I could just look around and spot something.
I also rolled a 15.
Oh, well then that'll probably do it.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, all that working now.
Yeah, yeah. As soon as you start looking around and your hunter senses start kicking in, but Korak just starts marching off in one direction, and he appears to know where there might be a source of some fresh water. Because right now the swamp water that you guys are in is rancid, not good for drinking. It's at that point that Dane, your staff begins to glow. You're standing there, or you're sitting there rather, and you've got another apple in your hand. You're kicking back, and your staff just lights up like the 4th of July.
I immediately stand and I take a defensive posture and say, guys, we're not the only ones here.
And that's where we end.
Okay.